sweet friends, this is Gina. Welcome to the TheReBookery channel. Today I thought I would spend some time talking to you guys about some of the journals that I've been working in and things that I've been working on for my Etsy shop. I'm really excited about May coming up because I've got some really new and fresh and exciting things that I'm going to put in my shop, including some journals. So the journals that I have been working in currently, I've got three primarily that I've been working in. So this one is my poetry journal, and if you remember, I started working in this one, oh gosh, it was probably in end of February, beginning of March, and my brain was just, it was mush. And I couldn't think of anything to journal about. It was really crappy weather and we've had a really long winter, and so this journal was just one where I didn't have to think about a lot of stuff. I just found some of my favorite poems and I would put them in here, either copy them or I'd write them down, which was very therapeutic, just copying the poems down in my own handwriting and using different markers and pens. And then I would just add some fun little touches to the poems, sometimes a photograph, sometimes just my own artwork. And I love this type of journaling. Be able to add your own touches, but yet not have to think too much about it. Like, I don't have to worry about having the right pictures. I don't have to worry about having the right supplies. In this journal, I found an old binder, a garden binder, and then I cut down some file folders, and I'm just kind of scribbling on them, putting drops of paint on them, adding stickers or paper on them. And this was so fun, and this is such a great way to like I said, get your creativity out. And it doesn't have to mean a lot. It doesn't have to have this hidden, dark, deep meaning. It can if you want it to, or it can just be fun, and it can just be words that you plop down. And so this is fun, and I love to do this. So this is my poetry journal. This is, if you have not watched my previous videos, this is a journal that I made out of a old cookbook. And I've taken a lot of the pages out, and I've just turned this into a journal of just my absolute most favoritist of the favorite things. And so I haven't added too much more to this since the last time I did a video. It's kind of just been sitting here, and I've been overloaded with stuff at work, so I haven't really had a lot of time to journal in this one. But I have such big plans for adding to this journal, especially this summer. I think this will be a great time to work in this journal. And I think the last thing I did was this little tag right here, and I did a process video on this, but this was a tag that I made because I wanted to document the moon last weekend, and then it just slips in this little place right here. And so this week I wanted to remember this memory so that I could, when I get into this journal, document it. And so here's what I did, and I'll show you the next journal that I'm working in. This is the one I've been spending most of my time in. This is my planner. And I'll be totally honest with you guys, when I first did this planner, and I'll link the video below where I went through trying to figure out what journal I wanted to use for my planner. Actually, this was one of them that I thought I wanted to use. I started in this one and I hated it. And I thought, you guys are gonna kill me, but I went through all of that and I'm not gonna end up and use it. Well, I totally have changed my thinking. I love this journal. I am obsessed with this journal. I'm obsessed with the size. I'm obsessed that it's a horizontal journal. I love the feel of the paper, because that was one of the things that I was really struggling with, was the flimsiness of this paper. So yeah, I'm gonna walk you through it and show you how much I love this journal. But anyway, going back to this, I wanted to document something that I want to put in this light, love, and happiness. And I just wanted to put it down somewhere so I didn't forget that I wanted to add it. And I'm looking for it wherever I put it here. And I'm getting close. Oh, here we go. So this was just something that my son had asked me earlier this week, and I wanted to make sure that I put this in here because this is going to be one of my favorite memories. and I just quickly took a marker and wrote it down here. I may keep this on this page. It has nothing to do with the paper dolls or anything. I just wanted to get down what he had asked me so that when I go to work in this journal the next time, I can remember, oh yeah, I want to document this, and I'll put this in here. So let's talk planner. Okay, so this is the journal that I turned into my planner that I've actually worked in since, gosh, when did I start this one? July last year. And so this took me throughout the entire school year. Here, I'll go through it really quick and show you guys. And so I worked in this quite a bit. I did lots of videos and Instagram posts on this journal, and I loved this planner. This was great. And here was Christmas, here was December, like you can't even tell. Or actually, this was November, because we had a blizzard in November. So then this was Christmas, and it's just, yeah, this was probably one of the best planner, junk planners that I've ever done. I absolutely, yeah. And here's where I lost my steam in February. So I didn't do as much documenting. Like I did a few things that, you know, we didn't do a lot in February because, again, we had 11 snow days this year. So yeah, these were some notes that I took about school, and I just kept going back and doing more doodles and stuff on them. And then here was March. And if you remember, I think when I originally made this planner, I took it out all the way till June, May or June. And I ended up and decided that I was going to use some of those pages. This is one of my absolute favorites. I was going to use some of those pages just for journaling in general. So I only went till March on this. But yeah, this has got to be one of my all-time favorite planners, all-time favorite journals. So I love this. Love it, love it, love it. But it's full and it's done. And that's another thing. This journal is full and done. Like every page is done, and that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, that's like, this is pretty awesome. This is an old typewriting book. I was hesitant at the beginning because the pages were so thin. So the first thing I did was I went through and I took out a bunch of pages, and then I secured the gutter with either fabric, or like here, I just did masking tape so that the spine would be able to hold everything that I'm doing. Because this is thin, I didn't put a lot of months in here, and that's okay because I like small planners. I don't like to have, I've had big planners that I've tried to last a whole year, and first of all, that just doesn't work. I get bored. And second of all, I just don't like the bulky size. I want my planner to be something thin that I can grab. So I only put a few months in here. And I'm really liking this size. Look how skinny that spine is. I'm really, really liking this. So this is, I'll walk you through it because I don't think I've shown you guys this at all. So this is the planner. This is what I've been working on. I've been going outside, sitting on the deck with a tub of markers and a glue stick, and just adding all kinds of stuff to it. So here we go. So this is just some background paint, some book pages. I've just really been into book pages. Well, I'm always into book pages. Just grabbing a handful of book pages. So I've got a stash of book pages, and they don't really have any specific theme. I'll just grab them, and whatever is there, I will make it work. And that's a lot of fun, just having a box of these sitting around, and then just pulling them out and making whatever's on there work, whether it's the text or the images. So this is just some playing with paint and some, this was a little piece of needlework that a really good friend of mine made. And so I put that in. Again, just some more collage, some happy mail that I got, and I took her actual, hello Stephanie, I took her actual letter that she wrote me, and I've torn it and put it in here so you'll see some pieces and stuff of the writing that she has sent me, and some of her stickers, lyrics to songs that I've been listening to. This is my April. So this is my month of April, and we're almost done. Oh my gosh, where are we? We're right here today. So we're almost done, and this is what I have been doing. This is a record of everything that I have done in April. Appointments, illnesses, things that we did at the house, things that we've gone out and done, eating, little day excursions, memories that have happened. All of this has some sort of meaning. It may not mean anything to anybody else, but it means stuff to me. Every single thing that's in here has something to do with what I did during April. And this is what I love a planner to be. I'm not one of those literal people where I'll have to write things down, although I do. But I end up and I go back and I cover them up. And then I get in and I start putting my own touches on it. And while somebody would look at this and say, this is not a planner, to me, this is a planner. This is my entire month and it's all been planned out. So on this month, my gosh, April was long. And so I had to add a little flap. So here was a flap I added. And so this was last weekend. This was Easter at my daughter's house last weekend and Earth Day. And then, yeah, I've got this last week right here that I need to add some stuff to. So yeah, I'm loving this, and I feel so energized and so ready to finish up this school year when I see this planner, because this is what I love. This is how I love to journal and how I love to plan. So then this was just a page where I had some paints. I'm using my white pen and some stickers and paper dolls. While it looks like this now, in 3 months, it may be totally covered up and turned into something else. As I turn the page, you can see these pages are pretty flimsy. So in my other planner, they were very thick, almost like cardstock. But because the pages in this journal were so thin, I glued two together and it became very flimsy. So one of the things I did to fix that was I went through and I added paint and paper to most of these pages to make them a little more sturdy. And I actually love the feeling of it now. I love that it's very flexible and very thin and it kind of crinkles, and yeah, I love it. So it's very different than my last planner. So here's my May. So we're getting ready to start May this week. And so I've already can see, oh my gosh, this week, I am not looking forward to this week at all. But I am looking forward to the 31st because that's the last day of school. So this will fill up very, very quickly. Here's my June. Here's just some paper and some pages, and some paint that I put down on here. And you can see this is wrinkly, and I'm okay. I just used Elmer's glue, and when you use glue like this, especially if it's a brand new bottle, it's going to have a lot of water. It will warp and it will wrinkle, but I'm okay with that. I like the wrinkles. Here's another blank page that this has been done over several sessions. I just sit down and, you know, I'll draw flowers, and then the next day I'll sit down, I'll draw raindrops and doodles, and it's just something that is very therapeutic. I sit down when I get home from school, I open it up, I find a page, and I just start doodling or adding things. And this is actually a pocket, so I can stick something in there. Here's July. And I washi taped all the edges because I love how that was in my last planner. I've done that a few times in some journals, and I really like how that is. This has just got some paint on here, and I've already started to do some pin work. Here's August. This was fun because this was one of my favorite books. It's called The Friendly Book, and the reason why I love it is because, well, it's a Margaret Wise Brown book, but it's illustrated by Garth Williams. It's a little golden book. I thought I had a copy sitting right here, but I guess I don't. But this is another one. It's this different title, but it's the same book. So it was called The Friendly Book at one time, and then it was called Things I Like. So this is one, I think this is for sale in my shop, and this is tattered and torn. It's seen some love, so it definitely needs to be used in a journal. But I absolutely love these illustrations. I've used this particular page because I've had several copies of this book in journals from years ago, and I can't get enough of it. Look at the color. This is just one of the most beautiful books, and I love the text too because it's all about things that they like. And I love this one. I like snow. I can't even wait because I know I'm going to use this to document something about this winter and the trains. So here's where this came from. So I had a copy of this book that's just kind of been torn up, and I just have it in a box and I'll pull it out, and just so happened I was using it one day when I was out on the deck. So this is the page that I put here, and then these are in my bag of just journal junk. These are some baby stickers, And obviously I don't have a baby, but I just thought, well, wouldn't that be fun to put these baby stickers on here? I don't even know what this page means. It's just a lot of fun, and it's a lot of color. And I even put kitty cat stickers down here. And so, yeah, this is just like, I would spend one whole day on the deck just doing this. And I love it. And yeah, anyway, and who knows, I may cover this up. I may add more to it. Who knows? This is just some doodling. This is a little envelope with a poem. So this is a poem I saw, and I want to put it in my poetry notebook, but I didn't have my poetry notebook at the time, so I just wrote it down here. And then once I put it into my poetry notebook, I'll cover this up. This is song lyrics again, and this is paint, but then I went back, and every time I add something new to this, it just adds another layer. And this has been kind of cool to see how this evolves. And then feel how, you can see how flimsy this paper is, but yet this handles all the paint, and this stuff, you won't see it bleeding through. And this is because I glued 2 pages together, and then I put paint on this, like white paint or gesso, and it's kind of blocked the ink so it won't go through. So here's my September. If I make it till then, I don't know. That's a long time away. Here's just some blank pages where I've already started some paint and some book pages. Here's some more pages from this book right here. Some of my paper doll. I put a little flap in. Lyrics again to songs. This was, I'm cleaning out a lot of stuff at school, so these were some old Missouri Conservationist posters that I had, and so I just put this in as a flap and some wrapping paper and book pages. Here you can see where I took white paint and I just covered this to make it a little bit more sturdy, and it won't allow my stuff to bleed through. So this was when I taught elementary school. This was one of my favorite activities that I would do with my kids. It was all about life cycles. And this is an old worksheet. I don't even remember where I got this. I might have gotten this from when I actually was in college. And so cleaning out file cabinets, I found a copy of this that I had put on cardstock, and I wanted to incorporate it into my journal. So I put it in and I taped it. And so this will be kind of a cool little place where I can add journaling. And then I've got these images, and yeah, love it, love it, love it. And I just taped it in. And so then there you go. So who knows if this will take me till September. I don't know. I may do like I did on the last one and just, you know, get as much journaling in as I can and then get rid of a couple of the months. And that's okay, because a planner for me can be just a few months. I'm totally all right with that. I'm having so much fun with this planner that I thought I would add some books into my shop that kind of resembled this, in case anybody wanted to try a planner like this thinner style, and just didn't really know where to start. So I have some books in my stash that actually will work out perfectly. So this is one I found yesterday on my shelf, and it's a science book. And so here's why I like this. These pages are super, super thick, and they don't need to be glued together. I'll be honest, if I was going to use this as a planner, I don't think I would glue these pages together. Now, you absolutely could if you wanted to, but there's really, I think the paper will be just fine, especially if you're going to paint or put paper over top of this. I think it will be just fine. So what I did on this one was I just removed half of the pages, and then I just set it up the way I set this one up. I reinforced. I've got one fabric reinforcement here, and then I've got another fabric reinforcement here. And then I just went through and I added tape. So this book is very raw. It's got your masking tape. I've not done anything else to it. I let it dry yesterday, so it's kind of stiff because of all the glue. But it is ready for someone to alter. And I think this book would be a lot of fun because it's got some cool little images that will pop out from behind your paint and things like that. I also left some of the gutters untaped so that if you wanted to use your own tape, or if you wanted to do like I did with the fabric, take a little strip of fabric and some Elmer's glue and put it in here, you could totally do that. So this will be in my shop whenever I open my shop, and I'm thinking about opening my shop it'll be a couple of weeks, so we're not even into May yet, but I have so many things that I want to put in my shop. I'm thinking that this is going to probably be around Mother's Day weekend or so before I actually get my shop open. But I thought what I would do today is maybe just show you guys a few of the things I've been working on and why it's taking me so long to get these things in my shop. So this will be one of them. This will be an altered book. I also did some altered books that kind of played off of this whole horizontal opening. I really like this because it gives me a lot of room, a lot of space. So I have some of these books right here. You might have seen these before. There's sewing ones, there's needlework ones. And I like the size, and I like that it opens horizontally. So I took a couple of these last weekend and I went ahead and I altered them. And so here's how these guys have been altered. Because these guys are of the way that they're glued in, what I did was I went and I ripped out the pages, and I left an inch of the actual page. And here is why. Because of the way these guys are bound, this actually helps to keep the spine intact, and it will allow your book to still perform like the manufacturers wanted it to do, and you're not going to lose any of that strength and integrity because I didn't pull from this right here, but it then gets rid of a lot of the bulk, and now you can add your own stuff to it, and it just kind of holds it in place. So I did two different versions. This one right here, I did every 2 pages. So you could glue these pages together if you wanted, or you could just paint them and have them separate. These pages are not ultra thin. They're not real thick, but they're not ultra thin. Personally, for me, I think I would glue them together. And you could just use a glue stick for that. And then what I did was I then ripped out, and I'll show you this, 3 pages. There we go. So there's 1, 2, 3. And so now you've got this little piece right here. You can leave this little piece just like you want. I would not tear it out because, again, then you're going to work on the structure of the spine, and that might not be the best bet for you in the long run. You could paint this, you could tape this. I even thought about taking, and this could be a place where you taped in tip-ins and photographs and things like that, because you've got enough room here that you would be able to add, I don't know, if you wanted like envelopes or something, you could add an envelope here, and then that could be a nice little tip-in. And like I said, because I've removed the bulk, you're going to have room to do this. So this was something that I'm going to put in my shop. And I thought this has got a lot of pages too. So this would be something that could work as an altered book. This would be fun if you used it just like as a paint book, like a book where you just wanted to practice doing all of your painting on. That would be so fun, because that's one of the things I just love about this is these painted pages, and I just love how they feel. So this one I did, I left, there's every 2 pages, and then I ripped 3 out. This one I did a little bit differently. So you can see this one actually has more pages. So for this one I left 2 pages, and then I ripped 2 pages out. So this one will actually have more pages. And so you'll see here are 2 pages. So I would glue these together, and then you have 2 pages right here. And again, you could leave it just like it is. You could paint it. You could add an envelope. You could even, and I thought about this, you could even take and glue these down to these actual sides right here, and then maybe put a little piece of washi. I mean, it's totally up to you. Like I said, the one thing is I would not remove these, because then you're going to start messing with the integrity of the spine. But it's absolutely up to you. That's what these guys are for. They're for you to experiment and to play with. So these will be in my shop also, and I will put them in the altered book section. Before I closed my shop this last time, you probably saw I had added a lot of paper dolls. I finally went through my stash of paper dolls and decided to get some of these things out to you guys, because they are just too good, and I'm just sitting on them. I'm using the ones I use, but then I just have a whole bunch more that that other people could be enjoying. So these guys are in my shop. These are paper doll books, and they are all intact. They have not been cut out or anything. They're all Barbie. There's like maybe a little bit of some stickers on the front, but everything is intact. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Wouldn't that be fun to add on a layout? So these are in my shop. But in addition to these paper dolls that are in the books, and so here's some really old paper doll pieces that I have. So check this out. I found at a store this gigantic paper doll, and it was quite a while ago, and I'll be honest, she creeped me out. I finally got rid of her because I had her hanging on the wall, and every time I walked in, her eyes, something creeped me out. So I got rid of her, but I kept the clothes. But this is amazing because it's so large. Like, I don't know, there is just so cool. So there's, I think I got 4 or 5 sets of these where it's one big piece of clothing and then just some smaller pieces of really old paper doll clothing. Oh, look at this dress. Isn't that cool? And that is super old. This one's a little bit newer, but I color coordinated. So each one of these packs has all the pieces kind of color coordinated. Oh man, there was more in there. So there's this one. Oh my gosh, I forgot I put that in there. And then there's this little house coat. So another thing I have in my shop are these wonderful packages. They're brand new, old stock. So they are from, oh my gosh, I don't even know if there's a date on here. This one has a barcode, so this is going to be more your 70s or 80s. And then this does not have a barcode, so this is probably going to be early 70s or 60s, maybe even later. Anyway, in my last video that I did, I used some of this. I love, love, love this paper because it is nice and thick and it is matte. This one has a little bit of a shine to it. And then you can peel off the tags. And I don't know if this one will peel off. Ooh, this one not as easy to peel off as this one is. So the thing I'm really excited about is I'm gonna have a new section in my shop called book page bundles. And so here's what I've done. I've gone through my entire hoard of books. And rather than sitting there on the shelves and just having me use them, I need to do something with them. I need to make them useful. So here's what I've done. I have taken the books and I have pulled them apart and I have made bundles of the pages. And the way I'm thinking about offering these is you will choose what bundle you want. And I'm not going to pull them apart and take pictures of all of the pages. They're just an assortment. And the pages, they're not all in order, so you won't get a pack that's like numbers 1 through 20. I mixed and matched. So you'll have pages from the front of the book, pages from the back of the book. And they're going to all have the same number of pages. And then how I will advertise them in my shop is I will put it with the actual book cover so you know what the book cover looks like. So I've got some vintage readers. I've actually got 2 from the let's see what this one. This was 83. Hang on, I got one more. Check this one out. Oh, I love this one. This was 1978. So this was a Sunburst book, 1978. And again, it's got the package, the bundles. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. I'm so excited about this. I have scads of science books, guys, because I'm a science teacher, so I freaking love them. So I'm starting to go through and take apart my science books and put them into bundles. So I will have several science book bundles. So here's one. This is a 1954. This is another one that I'm super excited about. This one's going to be called Being a Scientist. And this one is 1963. And again, it will just have an assortment of these yummy, yummy science pages. And I made sure, like, I'm not even kidding, guys. I sit here and I make sure every single pack has really cool illustrations. Nobody gets slighted in this. I try to make sure, like, I would want every single pack that is in here. So when I put it together, I try to think, what would you guys want? So I'll have lots of science ones. These guys that I haven't quite yet put into bundles, but I'm really excited about this one. So this is a 1970. This is a spelling book, so I haven't put these guys into bundles yet, but oh my gosh, the pages on this, the paper, oh, the illustrations, the color. So this will be put into bundles. This is a vintage reader, and I don't know the date on this one. This is similar to a Dick and Jane, although it is not Dick and Jane. This is like Nancy and Bill, but I will put this into bundles. This is probably a 1950s or 1960s. This is another one. This is a little bit older. And I'll put, ooh, I got a lot of paper in this one. So I'll put this one into bundles. This is an old science book, and so it's a little bit different. You're not going to have those color illustrations. This is going to be more text, and this was when they didn't do very much of the full color printing, so you'll see a lot of just like mono color where they'll just have black and one color, so like orange or this brown. There are a few color illustrations, but let me tell you what I use this for. I've used this book for, or one just similar to it, to do like packing tape transfers. It just works. The paper is so thin and it just does a great job of doing packing tape transfer, and the ink just, I don't know, it just kind of melts into the tape. And I have a video on how I do packing tape transfers. I will, if I remember, I will link it below. And then this is a childcraft book, and this one is going to have lots of stories and illustrations, and there's lots of poems and nursery rhymes, and so I'll be putting this into bundles. And this is just the beginning, guys. I have so many more that I'm working on, and I want to get into my shop. So this will be in the shop, in the section called Book Page Bundles. Last thing I want to show you guys. So I've been working on spring field guides, books about nature, butterflies, birds, trees, flowers, all that good stuff. And I have put together a collection of some of my favorite nature ephemera. It's going to be one of them that I will have in my shop. This is going to be on wildflowers. And so what I've done is I've just taken all of my wildflower books that I have, and I have pulled pages out and put them into kits. And so I will go over these more in detail once it gets closer to time of opening up my shop, but these kits will be loaded with lots of yummy wildflower goodness. In addition to the wildflower kits, I also have vintage bird kits. So these kits are going to be a little bit different because I don't have the larger book pages in this kit, so it'll come into a smaller little recycled page protector pocket. And so these guys will have lots of pages from bird field guides, and these are going to be a collection of old, so these are really old bird field guide pages, and then some newer bird field guide pages. Ugh, that Band-Aid on my thumb is making it hard to go through my papers. And I've done a different variety, like I've done a variety of publishers, so you'll get all kinds of different books. And so then some of them I've left together if you wanted to create them as little flip outs in your journals. And then some vintage playing cards with birds on them, some bird stickers. All right, kiddos, so there you go. That's what I've been working on, and those are the journals that I have been working in, and that's all the shop goodness that I have been doing. So I'm back in my planner here, and I'm kind of looking at the month of May to see when I want to be able to put all these things out, because I also have some journals that I'm working on too that I didn't even show you, and if I wanted to show you, I wouldn't be able to because they are underneath a pile of all kinds of stuff behind me. So I got a lot of work to do before I get the shop opened up with all these fresh goodies. I'm looking at May, and I'm looking at probably it's going to be around this weekend right here, the 17th, 18th, 19th, maybe somewhere around there. I'm not for sure. We'll see how much. That gives me 2 weekends left to get ready with this stuff. I might be able to get it all done. And I'd like to open my shop up around, like I said, that 17th, 18th, 19th. So stay tuned. I will keep you guys posted on that. So thanks for hanging out with me this really long time. I hope you were able to gain some inspiration today by looking at some of these goodies. And I hope you guys are healthy. I hope you guys are happy. And I hope you do something creative today. Bye.